Yo tengo otra parte, orgullo no me quiere hablar. Entonces vamos a compartir. Dime qué vamos a hacer. Me paso mirando el cel, wow, no puede ser. Aunque me tarde un poco, juro que voy a responder. Quisiera volverte a ver encima de brincando tú. Lo rica que te de chingando tú. Nosotros estamos esperando. El orgullo no está ganando. Ay, baby, dime la verdad. Si te olvidaste de mí, yo sé que fue una noche nada más, que no se vuelve a repetir. Tal vez en ti quise encontrar, ay, lo que en otra perdí. Tu orgullo no me quiere hablar, entonces vamos a compartir. Que no me olvido de ti, yo sé que fue una noche nada más, que no se vuelva a repetir. Tal vez en ti quise encontrar, lo que en otra perdí. Tu orgullo no me quiere hablar, entonces vamos a competir. A ver, ey. Welcome in everybody to the Roots Rundown, our thrice time a week smaller show, the Radical Roots podcast platform. I am your host today on February 6th, Peyron Baxter, getting the Friday going as we go into the Benito Bowl with some Where She Go by Benito Ocasio, or Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, who will be performing at the Super Bowl. So as we get into the Benito Bowl, I'm going to play a little bit as we get into some more. So I'm very excited about that. Hope y'all are watching that. We have to figure out where we're watching it. We don't have cable. So I don't know where we're going to watch it at. I'm like, where we going? You know, Where She Go? Where we go? Name the song Where She Go? Where we go? We don't know. So we got to figure that out. Someone said I think you could buy the NFL app. Again, I probably will graduate to becoming an ancestor before ever watching another down of professional football again. I got to figure out a way to watch the Benito Bowl. I've been hyping it up too much. I can't miss it. I watched his interview yesterday with Apple Music. It was very good. He's talking about where he came from. He talked about he didn't expect to win Album of the Year with DB Tamafoto. He just wants to connect with people. And he said, you know what? 4 months ago, I said, yeah, it'll take 4 months to learn Spanish. Y'all don't even need to learn Spanish. Just learn how to dance. And I don't think he was talking to black people. I think he was talking to that white audience out there who wants to go see the alternative Super Bowl show, the All-American tour, the All-American show, which is all white, which is proof that when they say American, they mean white. They did not include me. They did not include Benito. They don't include, Asian people. They don't include queer people. They mean the bottom of the barrel, most racist white people. And that's who's going to be at the alternative. That's going to be streaming on, I don't know, MySpace. I don't know. Anyway, so we have a lot to get into. Don't want to take too much time, too much of your time up today. But it's going to be a real one, as y'all know. Some of the news that has broken over the overnight. I'm going to get into it. But before we get going, please make sure you like, share, subscribe to the Route Cruise podcast and platform. That is how we stay, growing. We've been growing leaps and bounds, week over week, show after show, feedback, emails, DMs. It's been fantastic. So if you guys could, please just tell somebody, let somebody know, hey, these guys, they got something going on. They're polishing it up. They're smoothing out the edges. They're trying to get, the information to us in a way that we can consume, that's not like been put through an editor, but yet still has been checked with facts and has been checked with people that have integrity, that want us to actually know the things that we probably should know as people out here in the world. So if you could share it, it goes a long way. It doesn't cost any money. And if you do want to go to that next level and donate, here at this QR code, if you could scan it and throw us a couple bucks, we would truly appreciate it. It helps us pay for this really cool platform, helps us pay for the content that we put out. All that stuff costs money. And I've been impacted by the black layoffs. So again, anything y'all can do helps out a lot. And I'm going to keep doing this regardless. So we'll figure out a way to get y'all the truth and information, because we are deserving that as American citizens. We are deserving that as people. A few episodes ago, there was someone from outside the country. I think they were in Great Britain, and they said, "Oh, I'm listening in." So it impacts folks outside of our imaginary borders. So if y'all could throw us a couple bucks, it goes a long way. Okay, now off my capitalistic shtick, take down this QR code. I'll put it back up at the end. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you all have woken up to the news that our melting president, Cankles McTaco Tits, the Cheeto crusted and Cheeto colored dictator wannabe, posted a video depicting Barack Hussein Obama Jr. and Michelle LaVaughn Robinson Obama as apes, people that, of course, with their flaws, but represented something that was, dare I say, amazing for Black people in this country. Seeing people that look like you in halls of power lets you know that you can achieve it too. And when white Americans saw that, they said, no, no, no. And dare I say, that's what gave us Donald Trump. But knowing that people like Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, who are stewards of at least decency, integrity, have a good family life, not perfect. Michelle will tell you that herself. It's not a perfect family life. They had to go to therapy, and she cussed him out about, don't do this, don't run for that, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? They love each other, and they love their community, and they love their people. And it's really hard to find that in any halls of power, whether it be corporate America, whether it be finance, whether that be politics, whether that be entertainment. You get very few. We thought Will and Jada was that. But you get, Denzel, you get Magic and Cookie. You get Samuel Jackson and his wife. And Michelle Obama and Barack Obama were that to us. And let me be very clear that when you call, as a white person, when you call one Black person the N-word, you're calling all Black people the N-word. There's no such thing as acting like an N-word. There's no such thing. That's a turn of phrase that is used by people who want to be exculpated from their culpability of their racism. Because you're saying that there is a such thing as an N-word, and you're acting like that. And if there is such thing as an N-word, what is that? And that applies to a whole group of people systemically, then you're calling all of us that. And it starts with with Trump. Ironically, I had a list of things that he had said over the years that were considered racist, that were considered I've had this note up in my phone since July 9th, 2020. I'm just looking at it here. July 9th, 2020 says, maybe I can see that. It says Trump's racist efforts. because I had a feeling probably on July 9th, 2020, that one day people would say he's not a racist. Granted, this is his first term, right? He's not out of office yet. He's out of office on January 20th, 2021. So he's still in office. We're in the heat of the summer of the summer of George Floyd. George Floyd was at this point just killed 3 months prior to this. And I just want to have a running list, because a lot of times we are so distracted by the most recent thing. We're distracted by, oh, well, he said this, or oh, he's fallen asleep. And he's gotten substantially worse over the years. But here's just a few things that I had written down off top of the dome. Him coming down the escalator in 2015, calling Mexicans rapists and drug dealers, and I assume some are good people, right? Of course, his shithole countries. He wouldn't rent to black people. He called Colin Kaepernick a son of a bitch for taking a knee during the national anthem. The full page ad against the Central Park Five, and that whole Kaepernick thing. That's ironic now, because they're saying there's a certain way to protest. Okay, but y'all crucified that man. Y'all crucified that man where he could not find employment ever again in the job that he loved and trained for. It's been 10 years since he took a knee, a decade. And y'all crushed him for his peaceful protest. Even when he sat down, then he sat with a Marine vet who said, "Hey, sitting down is a little bit too disrespectful. Do you mind taking a knee?" So it was from a military vet himself who told Colin Kaepernick. Trump still called him a son of a bitch, and the white supremacists still said he's un-American. Now these are the same people who are cheering on masked men who don't need warrants to kick down doors and to murder you and call you a fucking bitch after they shoot you, or to clap on command after they have riddled you with bullets and emptied a magazine on you. We have to be aware of this shit, y'all. We got to be aware of this shit. And so this running list I have, it dates back to, you know, it goes back, let me see here, it goes back to 1973, right? And that's the case that, yes, I had it written down here. But it's so let me read a couple of these too. 1973, the Nixon administration sued Trump for discriminating and refusing to rent to black people at his properties. Do you know how racist you got to be for the Nixon administration to say, "Hey, that's racist"? You got to be pretty fucking racist. 1980s, Trump's casinos were accused of hiding black staff when Trump visited. 1989, Trump took out a full-page ad arguing for the death penalty for a group of black and brown boys, the exonerated five now, effectively putting a bounty on their heads and plaguing them with a lifetime of death threats. He was sued by the Justice Department for discrimination. 1991, he was quoted saying, "Black guys counting my money, I hate it. The only kinds of people I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes every day. I think that black people, guys, are lazy." And it's probably not his fault, because laziness is a trait in blacks. It really is. 1992, the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino had to pay a $200,000 fine because it transferred black and women dealers off tables to accommodate a big-time gambler's prejudices. It was always here. It was always on the front page. 1993, in a congressional testimony, Trump said that Native American reservations operating casinos shouldn't be allowed because they don't look like Indians to me. Trump is only a second generation American. He's never had a single member of his family or since him that has spilled a drop of blood defending this country, or putting their lives on the line for this country, I should say, not defending this country, but putting their lives on the line for this country. He nor any other Trump has ever served in armed forces. Think about your family. How many people have served? And black families is a lot. A whole lot. Because that for us was a way out of our circumstances created by white people for us to get out of the circumstances. You have to forfeit your life. You have to gamble your life for this country. This man did not. In fact, during the Vietnam War, he's known to have said his Vietnam War was trying to dodge getting syphilis and gonorrhea. That was his war. 2000, Trump ran a series of attack ads against Native American casinos, alleging with no proof that they were guilty of crimes. That sounds familiar. 2004, Trump fired a black contestant on The Apprentice for being overeducated. How much education should a black person have, Trump? Trump voters, how much education should a black person have? I think we're seeing it now with the rollback of in the dismantling of the Department of Education. We're seeing it now with the attack on higher education. We're seeing it now with PragerU being leveraged by Turning Point USA across all of these high schools in the South. 2010, Trump argued in favor of segregating Muslims in Lower Manhattan. I mean, these are just a few. And again, I stopped in 2020, and it keeps going, because I think I stopped in 2020 because it was 2020. But these are just a few of the things that I have written down. Birtherism. Trump created and pushed a false rumor. Ironically, I should probably go back and change that. The birtherism lie was actually created by the Hillary Clinton campaign. There's a whole ad where she ran like, if he gets the call at 2 a.m., basically saying there's a terrorist attack, what would Obama do? Would he side with the terrorists or would he side with America? That was the prediction. That was the premise of that. And then Trump took that, like most things, like Make America Great Again, which he took from Ronald Reagan, and then co-opted it for his own means. And then it became his thing. Most people don't realize Ronald Reagan had Make America Great Again. But birtherism in 2011, he pushed the false narrative that Obama, the country's first black president, was not born in the U.S. He even sent investigators to Hawaii to look into Obama's birth certificate. Obama later released his certificate, calling Trump a carnival barker. You know, it breaks my heart. Y'all can have whatever political differences with Barack Obama. I don't care. But it breaks my heart that that man felt compelled to show his birth certificate. Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. I wish he never did that. Never stooping to their level. Never legitimizing their hate. Never letting them put you on the back foot because they're ignorant, because they're racist. And Trump tapped into something. It's like, well, Trump, he's a master manipulator. You know, he's playing 8-dimensional chess. He knew that they were going to. Trump is a racist himself. And yes, he knew there was other races out there, and birtherism would work on them. Again, I don't care if you despise Barack Obama. He has policy things that I disagree with him on. But when you're saying that he wasn't born here, or that he's not a real person, he's not legitimate, from someone who has never sacrificed a goddamn thing for this country or for its people, only used the levers of power to protect and insulate his own power and his own largesse, and to keep him out from any sort of consequences. It breaks my heart that Obama did that. It breaks my heart. So this morning, this was the clip heard around the world.
Heard that favored Joe Biden.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to get the volume right. I hear you play it again. I'll keep it on a loop. All right.
That favored Joe
Biden.
So
the clip heard around the world is this here with him and Michelle Obama bouncing around the positive. This is so hurtful. This is so. There's a long history of colonial thought that Africans and descendants of Africans are closer to apes because they had to have an excuse of why whiteness was the highest evolution of man. Now, most people would tell you if you shave a chimpanzee, which is supposed to be the closest, or is the bonobo, excuse me, if you shave them off, the color of their actual skin under the fur would be white. Black people actually aren't that hairy, so it doesn't really make sense. The lips are thin. So really, if we're going to do the whole ape comparison, it wouldn't be black people. But this is so fucking hurtful. And the idea that we're like, we don't care, the Trump is just being raped, like, no, this fucking hurts. And that's okay for us to hurt. That's okay for us to be mad. And y'all black people out there doing this whole like Trump being racist and we don't care, it's a distraction. All that could be true. And you can still be hurt. It could be a distraction from the Epstein files. And you can still be hurt. This shit is real. Barack Obama, the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. Michelle Obama was his mentor in law school. Michelle Obama tried to get your kids to eat radishes and to eat right. And they called her everything but a child of God. Said that she was a fascist and harmful to trying to attack our kids. I'm trying to make this thing a little bigger. There we go. And it pains me, man. It pains me. Because there's people out there right now that are making excuses for this. It's just a joke. The only person on the planet that looks like an orange orangutan is the person that posted this. He's the one that looks like an orange orangutan. But he is using an old racist trope that we are less than, that we are subhuman. Because when you're subhuman, because when you dehumanize people, and when you say that they're animals, there's only two things that you can do with an animal. There's only two things you can do with an animal, whether it be an animal from an ant all the way up to a bear, any animal. And then you fill in between. I couldn't think of any other animals. I'm on the spot right now. I'm angry. You either domesticate it or you exterminate it. Those are the only two ways you deal with animals. That's it. There's nothing in between. Or you leave it alone. But you know, white America don't leave shit alone. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this, and am I shocked? No. And I saw a guy today, white evangelicals, is this still your guy? And I'm like, yeah, this is still their guy. In fact, this is why he's their guy. Don't forget, on the docks of Senegal, where the slave ship, there's a tunnel that goes down to where the slave ships would be loaded up on. On top of that is a church. The Southern Baptist Convention split from the Baptist Church because of what? Slavery. They wanted to still own human beings. And the way you get so many people to believe in chattel slavery is you tell people that those in chains that are crying when you steal their babies, when you brand their face, when you chop off their penises and force them to eat it, when you force them to work from sunup to sundown every single day, when you brutalize them, when you rape their women, children, and men, that those are not people. That those are not people. And I'm just sick of this. Like, we are the only people on this soil that did not ask to be here. And yet we are blamed for all the ills of this fucking society. And I'm mad today because I've seen a lot of white liberals that are supposedly we're on the same side. I'm a Democrat. It doesn't. You're white. What I mean by that is that you still benefit from this system, and until you grapple with that this is a system that I benefit from that is actively supporting this, and I need to unlearn whiteness. I need to not call myself white, because that also is a political invention, just like borders, just like the Constitution, just like gerrymandering, just like Senate apportionment, just like all of these things that we're trying to change. The Supreme Court, 9 justices should be 13. All those are political inventions. So is whiteness. This is not even a dog whistle. It's a dog bark. Bark back, bitch. That's what it's telling the other races out there. Look, you can go back to calling them monkeys. The only person that looks like an orange orangutan is Donald Trump. D.L. Hughley said something earlier today, and I said, man, that's real. He said, there isn't a single job in this country, dare I say the world, but I'm going to just leave it to the United States. There isn't a single job in the United States that you would not be fired if you posted this on your personal social media. Not a single one, even in Trump 2.0 America. Because you're going to have a bunch of these, I like what you said. These faux patriots, I'm so manly. I'm so, they haven't protected or defended shit in their fucking lives. Haven't fought for anything. These are the biggest bootlickers on the fucking face of the planet, and Donald Trump makes them feel strong with this type of bullshit. There isn't a job on the face of this country that you would not be fired by lunchtime if overnight you posted this. Don't believe me? Try it. Try it. Try it. He was just joking. I mean, you, white person, dare I say a black person, if you're a black MAGA person, but even black MAGA people have that much common sense. But if you are a white person, not one of these, you don't have a profile picture and your name has a bunch of numbers in it at the end, it's like Eagle Patriot, gun 4578329. No, if you are a Josh Thompson 6, post this over here. Post it. If you are about that life. I'm trying to get my mirroring going here. But seriously, this is so hurtful. And we deserve to be angry. We deserve to resent every single white person that voted for this. But black people and a few Latino men, okay, there's always going to be sellouts. We did our job. Again, 92% of black women, 80% of black, but we're getting A's and B's. Okay, we did our part. Y'all told us this is what you wanted. So we have all right to look at you and say, I don't fuck with you. And I don't know the good ones and the bad ones, because the good ones are, well, my daddy, he's old time. You're making excuses for these motherfuckers. You didn't do your job. If you're okay with racists, you're a part of the problem. What you want me to do about it? What you want us to do about it? We're just hurt. We're harmed. And we're sick and fucking tired of it. We're sick and tired of the lip service, of the, let's just have consequences. No, these motherfuckers, the game's been rigged against us for a long time. And we're tired of this shit. How many more? And he's one step away from calling us a nigga. One step away. One step away. This is already calling us a nigga. These are some niggas. Look at these monkeys. Look at these porch monkeys. Look at these jigaboos. Look at these niggers. And we're supposed to sit here and take it. We're supposed to go to work and go see our MAGA boss. Go see our friend who she's kind of coded MAGA. She might have said something about Charlie Kirk or whatever. Like, we got to sit here and see these motherfuckers jelly roll out there. I'm not political, but you was just at Mar-a-Lago, just trying to get a droplet out of Trump's dick. Just stroking the shaft and swallowing the gravy. Just for this. This is how weak white supremacy is. This is how weak whiteness actually is. It hates itself. And if it hates itself, it cannot love you. But this is why they don't want black people in spaces. You know, Joe Biden had the most diverse cabinet in history. And of course, Trump comes in and wipes it out. There's only one Negro. I think it's the standard black job in Republican administration, which is what? HUD, because the word urban's in it, housing and urban development. He's a ex NFL player, so I think there's some CTE going on in there. I'm sure he hates the Benito Bowl. But this is why they don't want black people around, because they get to have these old timey jokes. They get to, right? Because if you had a single black person there, even if it was just the janitor, even if it was just the secretary, they would check your ass. They would check the president of the United States if they saw some shit like this. This is why they want segregated towns. This is why they want segregated schools. And in segregated schools and in segregated towns, what always happens? This type of shit. We moved here to Union County, North Carolina. And before we moved here, I saw on the news something about the rebel flag, and they're doing a fake slave auction, because places like this, where we moved to, unfortunately, have long histories of being white flight areas, meaning they just want to feel comfortable saying racist shit. And the quote unquote Democrats and liberals that live here are comfortable in their whiteness. And they'll say it's, oh, we like the home. It's a nice home. We got it for cheap. We like the school district. But if you go to the school district, it's more segregated than they were in the 1960s. The demographics are, it's 94% white. And that's where they got the rebel flag. That's where they're doing the slave auction to the 3 black kids that go to the whole fucking school that are probably related to one another. Breaks my fucking heart that Barack Obama showed his birth certificate to this piece of shit. We deserve better. And we do it by having grace and dignity and love and compassion for all. Barack Obama, he's with his win of the presidency, he split the country in half. No. Your racism couldn't take someone who had swagger, someone who had style, someone who was attractive, someone who had a beautiful black family, and he occupied 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for 8 years, and you couldn't take it. I gave a speech at the NAACP meeting here about 2023. And I said, we're in a burn the sheets moment. Burn the sheets harkens back to, whenever black people would sleep on beds during the time of segregation, they would burn the sheets. I gave the example of Lena Horne, beautiful Lena Horne, singer, songstress. When she went to these big hotels in Chicago, they would have to burn the fucking sheets. She's as fair skinned as I am. Doesn't mean that doesn't matter. My point is, there is a one drop of blackness. They got to burn the sheets. The movie Django was, Samuel L. Jackson's character, Steven. When Django said he's going to sleep at Candyland, Steven looked up and said, oh, where he going to sleep? Who going to burn the sheets? We're in a burn the sheets moment. We're in a burn the White House down. Burn the country down. We can't let these niggas get it. So if you see they're over every branch of government, the White House, Senate, the House, Supreme Court stacked, they're still mad. They're still angry. They're still angry. Because they hate themselves. There is no end. So my question is, the title of today's episode, Black MAGA, it's your time to shine, baby. It's your time to shine. You told us, oh, he's actually not racist. Let me tell you something. Donald Trump is not racist. Donald Trump is actually the most non-racist person in America. We're all indoctrinated into anti-blackness. All of us, including me. If I have to unlearn it, Carol, you have to unlearn it. Don't tell me, well, my parents, they raised me to be non-racist. That doesn't matter. You were impacted by media. You were impacted by movies and television shows. You were impacted by radio. You were impacted by sports. You were impacted by our education system. You were impacted by segregated schools. You were impacted by different health diagnoses. You were impacted. You believe certain things about certain people without evidence, without even experiencing, without even knowing. 90 Pew Research recently, or in the past 10 years, 90% of white people do not have a single non-white friend. You think you have a non-white friend. Oh, I have a non-white friend. Let me tell you, I have a non-white friend. Go ask that friend. And they may say, oh, yeah, we cool. You been to their house? Have they been to your house? Have they shared intimate details of their life? Have they talked about the similarities of growing up and the struggles they go through? Do they talk about racism with you? Do they talk about how you may have been racist to them? Because little do white people know, we're not around a bunch of Klan members every fucking day. We're around y'all. So the racism we experience is around y'all. So I just want to ask Black MAGA, who went way out of their way to do shit like this.
Let me fix my bow tie. We at the White House. We back in here. We waiting on President Donald J. Trump.
Because a vision softly creeping left its seat.
I look so good in the red. Let me fix my bow tie.
Okay, so where are these Negroes at? Look at them. Skinning and grinning. Nothing but gums. Back teeth showing. Got my Trump hat on. Mr. Trump. He called all y'all niggas. He said all y'all monkeys. Because once again, you call one of us that, you calling all of us that. You're calling all of us that. Good point here. Where you at, Onika? And if y'all don't know, that is harem menage. Where you at, Nikki? Right? I'm his biggest fan. Well, he called you a nigger. He called you a nigger this morning. You like that? Was that what's hot? And just because you're in that room doesn't mean you're at the table. He's using all of y'all. Look at these fools. And if you also can look, if you look slowly, I cancel this video down, but it's on a loop. The girl in the white dress behind this foghorn leghorn looking fool, she kind of puts her head down. I think there's a brief moment of like, this is embarrassing, right? It's like, yeah, right there. It's like it's brief, but you can touch it. It's like, man, get that camera off me right quick. And there's a certain level of lack of self-awareness you have to be this type of ignorant fool. This man would not piss on you if you were on fire. He wouldn't spit on you. He wouldn't shart himself awake if you were choking. He would let you die. And you're proud Now, again, does that mean, oh, well, the Joe Biden, he was against, but absolutely, Joe Biden and the Democratic Party are culpable in white supremacy. White supremacy is a bipartisan effort, but one side actively fights to maintain it. The other side peddles in soft white nationalism, which is the Democratic Party. Soft white nationalism. But one side says we got to keep those Confederate statues up. We got to erase those black people. We have to take out those queer people. We have to make sure women are subjugated. We're going to take away those rights. We're going to take away your ability to eat. We're going to take away your ability to have health care. We're going to make sure your children are in mines working for the oligarchs like Elon Musk to power his data centers. That is something that these fools are in service to. So where y'all at? Where y'all at? But this is why they don't want real black people around them. This is why they have to get rid of all the black people and all those federal jobs. Black people who have a spine to say that's not right. That's not right. Just that little bit, because they're cowards. Trump, Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance are all cowards, top to bottom, all of them. All puss boys, all of them. Ain't never had to fight for nothing, and ain't ever been in a fight their whole lives. So where y'all at? What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Because they're gonna try to excuse this away. Well, what he's trying to say is that the y'all what? Oh, Michelle and Barack Obama are millionaires. Michelle Obama from the South Side of Chicago. Barack Obama is the son of an immigrant. What? They were lazy? They did what y'all told them to do. Get the degrees. Okay. Go get the degree after the degree. Okay, got my Juris Doctorate. Now what? Go get the jobs. Okay, community organizer, private law firm. Now what's up? Okay, now I'm a state senator. Now what's goody? Okay, now I am a senator. Now what's up? Now I'm the president of the United States. Now what's good? Still not good enough. Still not good enough. And it pains me that people still believe that this is a difference of a fucking opinion. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. Here we go. Got a couple more clips here. So let me see here. I got a clip I gotta try to pull up here real quick. Sorry, y'all. I thought I was prepared. Here we go. I'm gonna upload it real quick as I'm talking. Do y'all remember this guy? Do y'all remember this guy? He told us. Now he told us something else. He was like them fools in that room that we just saw. Do y'all remember this fool? I'm gonna upload the videos. They don't come in any sort of order, so I gotta like click through them. I'm sorry. Here we go. Look at this fool.
Growing up in the Deep South, I've seen racism up close. I know what it is, and it isn't Donald Trump.
When people show you who they are, believe them. Yes.
Y'all remember Herschel Walker? You remember Herschel Walker saying that Donald Trump is a non-racist man. He reminds me of my coach who told me to go run that field and go hit my head a bunch of times. And he loves me because I'm the biggest, strongest, blackest man he's ever seen. And I got me a white woman, and they didn't like that, but that's okay. And I'm out here just being me. Not only him, do y'all remember Tim Scott? You remember Tim Scott? I don't know if it was after the RNC or some shit a few years ago. He did a response to, it was after the State of the Union that Joe Biden did. And he did a direct to camera. America is not a racist country. Do you remember that? These people are not talking to us. We know that as Black people. We know that this country's fucking racist. Right? There's a reason why, Google the word motherfucker, why that exists. There's a reason why when Black people laugh, we scatter. There's reasons why the racism of this country shapes us. Their job is to tell white America that wants to believe the lie of this settler colonial project, that it was always fantastic, that it was always golden, that it was always shiny, and it was always on a hill. Let me remind you, this is what they used to do to us.
Okay, so I decided to take this chair apart and redo it. Well, I knew it was old, but I didn't know how old it was until I got in, realized it had been put together with twine, burlap, and this. But then I noticed this black stuff that was used as padding. Can we please? It's human hair. Human hair and cotton.
Do you know how depraved you have to be to cut people's hair off, to use it as your chair cushions and your couch cushions? You know how much hair you need? They used to use our skin to make shoes and wallets. W.E.B. Du Bois talked about when he came down to Atlanta for the first time, and he walked past a store that sold nigger knuckles. Our knuckles. You could buy them. He almost vomited. You could buy our knuckles. And people like those fucking fools in the White House last year, Trump, he's calling you a fucking nigger. They're going to sell your knuckles. And when you dehumanize people, you say you can do whatever to them. Because again, when you're not a human, you're an animal. When you're an animal, what are the two things you can do to an animal, folks? I said earlier, you either subjugate them or you eliminate them. That's it. That's it. There's the only two ways you deal with animals. You subjugate them or you eliminate them. And that's what, when they call us, oh, you monkeys, okay, you got to subjugate that monkey. And if that monkey act up, just like a chimpanzee in the zoo, you got to put it down. That ape that was throwing, they grabbed that kid, what the first thing they did was shot it. Boom. Apes aren't supposed to be in zoos. Giraffes aren't supposed to be in zoos. We are the cruel ones as human beings. They used to eat us. This is a fantastic book to read. People will gaslight you all day who haven't read fucking anything, who don't know any fucking thing, who don't want to know. Countless stories. I cried several times while reading this book. The Delectable Negro, Human Consumption and Homoeroticism Within U.S. Slave Culture. Because consumption is not just eating us, it's consuming our labor. It's consuming us sexually. It's consuming us and our spirits. This book, this is where I learned here in North Carolina, one of our most famous plantations, they fed their enslaved, their captives. They fed them 3 pounds of meat and 1 peck of corn a month. A month. Can you, at your big age watching me right now, can you survive off 3 pounds of meat and 1 cob of corn a month? While you work from sun up to sundown, getting whipped, afraid, anxiety ridden, but still trying to find joy. Trump, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg, this is the new planter class, the new plantocracy. Those were the same people that would tell the enslaved people as they sat up on their patios with their feet kicked up, sipping mint juleps, that the niggas down there in that field were the ones that were lazy. Women pregnant until they gave birth in the fields. They were lazy bitches. That their bodies were worth nothing. Their children. What's the point of having a relationship with this child if you know it can be sold from you, but we still love them children. We still became adoptee parents to kids that were trafficked in. These are well documented. He wants you to believe that we are animals. Because when you are an animal, you can kill an animal. It's called hunting. And other news this week, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm just really frustrated. Because I've seen these white liberals. I can't believe it. Is this real? It's y'all. It is y'all. There is no animal Black people have ever said white people are that has led to the subjugation of white people. There is no form of dehumanization Black people have made white people go through. Because again, we didn't ask to fucking be here. And the natives didn't ask y'all to come. You called them savages. Called us apes. And yes, Lorena says, can I recommend a book every episode? Actually, yeah, that's no problem. So yeah, this episode, we'll say The Delectable Negro by Vincent Woodard. And he's now passed. He's now one of the ancestors. Fantastic book. But my next post next thing I'm gonna talk about is, ironically, the news from earlier this week, Medgar Evers, Medgar and Merle, written by Joy Reid. I recommend this as well. So that's for previous episodes. But yeah, Medgar Evers. So Medgar Evers, the civil rights hero, and organizer who was murdered in Mississippi on his own porch by Byron de la Beckwith. I'm going to make sure I got it right. The Trump administration has taken down the placard that the one erases Medgar Evers' death, who was an activist, and all he was doing was trying to get people down in Mississippi to be registered to vote. That was his crime, and he was murdered by Byron de la Beckwith, who was a avowed white supremacist Ku Klux Klansman. Multiple pictures with him with the Confederate flag behind him. He was proud to have killed Medgar Evers in his own driveway. Got to live a long life. This week, the Trump administration has erased that Byron de la Beckwith was racist. Who joins the Ku Klux Klan? Who joins the Ku Klux Klan? Can I join the Ku Klux Klan? Can my co-host Rom join the Ku Klux Klan? I see Steve in the chat. Steve, can you join the Ku Klux Klan? No. This is the gaslighting of America that the media has consistently done to us for decades, for centuries. It's a difference of opinion. Hatred is not a difference of opinion. White supremacy is not a difference of a fucking opinion. We got to be real about this shit. Brian here. I'm 46 years old, and I thought I knew the atrocities of slavery. I was 32 when I came to know about the real extent of it. That's right. And even that, what we think that we know about slavery, doesn't even cross its realities. Just think about that. And we still found ways to invent, still found ways to love and have passion and joy. They erased that Byron De La Beckwith was a racist. Only a racist would do that. Only a racist needs people to believe a lie. Only pieces of shit like Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance and Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, who want you to believe this I'm a big boy version of American politics and American history, where there's always a great white man. Nobody else exists. Look at that Super Bowl counter show, right? It's not separate but equal. If they're talking about we want to unify, you're creating a whole new show with nothing but white people, and that's the all-American one. So that tells you what they think about an American. I've told you on this show multiple times, when they say American, or when they just say people or teachers or children or voters or whatever, they mean white, and they don't mean the good whites. They mean the most bottom of the barrel, disgusting, I can't wait to call y'all niggas again white. The ones that want to see y'all in chains again white. That's what they mean. That's what they mean. And don't gaslight yourself just because you're in proximity to I got a good one. He's all right. I mean, he's cool, I guess. You know, that's what it is. But when you dehumanize people long enough, the systemic outcomes that happens to them starts to become okay. Like this.
Yesterday, the EEOC filed a motion in a case that it has against Nike. They have subpoenaed documents from Nike, and Nike has been resisting. So they're asking the judge to order Nike to respond to the subpoena regarding its hiring practices, specifically as those hiring practices relate to African Americans. So they're looking into Nike's DEI hiring policies. And we know the Trump administration has used anti-DEI policies to go after African American people. So they've already been doing this in the federal sector, federal agencies and so on. Now they're taking that fight in earnest to the private sector. And they are, again, fighting Nike, one of the largest companies in America. So what is that going to do? That's going to have a chilling effect on other corporations who try to have diversity in their workforce, in their management, their promotions. It's going to say to those corporations exactly what it's intended to say. If you hire African American people, we could come after you and basically allege that you're doing reverse discrimination against white men. The EEOC chairwoman has already asked white men to file complaints against corporations. All right? And listen, this subpoena is very broad. It doesn't go after like any one person. It goes after the policies. So they're asking for all sorts of things. And it goes back 7 years. 7 years, imagine that. All those documents. So this is just not looking good the next 3 years for African American people. Unemployment is already rising. I've done many videos on that within the African American community. We're seeing our unemployment rate rise. Everyone else is staying the same. Whites, Asians, it's all staying the same except for us. And this is going to make that problem worse, especially if corporations. So just think about it. So the Trump administration, the anti-DEI policies that they have in place is resulting in many, many blacks losing federal jobs. Now it has turned its attention to the private sector, and it's essentially saying to the private sector, you better be very careful hiring black people or we're going to come after you. So we're going to be losing jobs in the federal agencies as well as in the private sector.
That brother went to my first alma mater, North Carolina A&T. He's an attorney. This is all they have. This is all they have, and I say that in a very vulnerable situation myself. I'm unemployed. That's why I could talk to y'all at 11 o'clock in the morning for an hour. It's been hard finding a new job. But I also know we deserve better. We deserve to tell the truth to one another. We deserve to come to a place like the Radical Roots platform and talk about this shit in a very open and honest way with history, you know, with people who have been documenting this stuff, with our knowledge, with our shared experiences. Because if not, we'll be gaslit into oblivion. These people believe their need to subjugate us is their birthright. But think about white supremacy. Same way with patriarchy. Same way with any ism and phobia. Is yes, it's meant to control other people, but it also controls you too. When we talk about, I got 2 more clips, y'all. I know I'm at an hour, but I played a song in the beginning, so it's even like 5-minute buffer. I only got 2 more clips. When we talk about human consumption, and I know a lot of y'all think that this is like, oh, this is fake. This is crazy. This, what I'm about to show you, is a millionaire who is, and I'm just going to show y'all. And y'all read the captions. But I saw this shit, and I was like, this all ties together. But here, check this out.
Technology that Peter and I are investing in is called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go ahead and take it out.
Painful, right?
Huh?
Is it painful for you?
Yeah, and this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy, sexy black women from Africa. You girls have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that. So, girls, for $100, we would pay you for your egg.
No, you $100? Monkey.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid. I bid $500 for you. Whatever I bid, he's going to outbid me. I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, and placenta, even your period blood is so rich with stem cells. Mm-hmm. When you regard it as waste, then it actually should be. It should be captured as recycled, mm-hmm. And it should go to waste. It's life for somebody, and it's life for mankind. The best eggs are 16 to 18 years old. Those are the best eggs. As you get older, your eggs get weaker and weaker.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So you may not be our candidate.
No, that's fine. I'm down with my business anyway.
This wasn't from 400 years ago, that clip I just showed you. Those women didn't deserve to sit there. Those 2 disgusting fucks who are also white supremacists, giving them or offering them, I should say, green rectangular pieces of paper with portraits of enslavers on them. This is our colonized mind thinking money means something. If you told our ancestors, let me give you some pieces of paper for your child, what? That's what you're doing right now. You're trading your body for money. Your labor for money. This is why when conservatives are like, oh, she's a whore, she's doing OnlyFans, just all that for money. Okay, you're on a construction site, blowing your back out, just like she is, but she's on a bed for money. And these are the same people that will call you a monkey, but at the same time know, as he just said, that we are genetic perfection, closest to it. But they have to project. They have to project that you aren't even really human to make you think that you'll sell your child, you'll sell your kidney to them, you'll sell your umbilical cord. You saw those two disgusting old men. They're probably what, 28? You know, they age like cut avocados. Those are beautiful women. They didn't deserve to be treated that way. They didn't deserve to be disrespected like that. Propositioned. Go talk to y'all white women. This was ultimately the premise of Get Out, right? Right? That's really the point of Get Out, is that they wanted our black essence, our black goodness. They will transplant themselves into that. That was real. Get Out was fake. This is a sick society. Sick. And you want me to sit here and make common cause and patty cake with these goofy ass white people who are like, oh, my dad was a good one. Go to hell. Just say I'm a coward. I'm not ready. This is my last clip before our funny clip to head us out. But this is our last clip of another depraved motherfucker.
I have my brand new USA quarter zip. This is very high quality. US flag on the side. And then we have the embroidered USA logo right here. You can zip it all the way up. You can zip it all the way down. Maybe if you're in like a tropical climate, you get a little warm.
Okay, I don't need to hear his fucking infomercial of his Jeffrey Epstein inspired quarter zip. These are the same people that will tell you trans people, gay people, black men are coming after your daughters. They have cosplay, Jeffrey Epstein cosplay. And this little fucking twink is a virgin, has never dated a woman, never touched a woman. And he's up here appealing to these young white boys. Because again, the red pills is getting black boys too. No, it's not. No, it's not. Will there be a black person there? Yes. But black people? No. Because he's overtly a white supremacist. He says black people lack the brain capacity, just like Charlie Kirk. Even though they were beefing, but they were together in their fight for white supremacy. Even with his Mexican abuela. This is the sick society. They want you to say, well, it's a difference of opinion. Why couldn't we appeal? How do we appeal to these young men? If one of their goals is to rape you, I don't know what you want me to do about that. I don't know how to appeal to a rapist. I don't know how to appeal to a white supremacist. A white supremacist goal is to have white male cis-het men to be in power, even if the system that they're controlling is breaking down and rotting from within. They don't care. And I use Robert Burns, the mayor here in Monroe, who is a failed mayor, who thinks that just because he's at the helm due to a coin toss, is inherently better than anybody else. And we got to wake up. When I say we, I mean white people got to wake up. Y'all got to wake the fuck up. Y'all keep trying to fucking give these people superlatives and nice names and you got to be kind to them. If you're kind to them, they'll give you respect. They don't give a fuck. They will kill you like Renee Good and Alex Preddy. You got to wake up. And they will call us niggers and monkeys in the meantime. And they will revere rapists and cannibals like fucking Jeffrey Epstein and his Kid Rock, which is a nickname for Epstein Island, Kid Rock. Folks, I don't really have much else. This was a heavy day. I woke up angry. People were texting me about this stuff, and I had to address it. But we have to be able to know who we are. We have to know that we are worth more than a job title. We have to know that we're worth more than a degree. We are worth something just because by the sheer dint that we draw breath. We as Black people in Black History Month built this fucking country. Don't you ever forget that. Not the Nick Fuenteses of the world, not the Jeffrey Epsteins. We built this shit. And yes, it was out of duress. We didn't want to build this shit, but we fucking did. Take pride that you are from a long legacy, a long lineage of people that you will never know their name, that were born, lived, and died in captivity, held captive, just like a Jeffrey Epstein and his cadre of right-wing assholes. And Democrat, they're all, I mean, again, America's always been a right-wing country. So when I say Democrats or Republicans, the country's been right-wing. We are the rose that grew through the concrete. They are the fucking concrete. And those that want to tell you that this is a melting pot in meritocracy, those people are also your enemy. And the weapon we have is love. The weapon we have is our knowledge. The weapon we have is compassion. And I dare you all to wield it strongly. Now, that's all I got. But as we go out on a funny note, we have comedian Josh Johnson talking about the conservative contradiction of this weekend. But you know what? Actually, before I do that, let me get this off. Let me get this piece of shit off the screen. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe to the Radical Cruise podcast and our platform. We have our main show, which is on Thursdays and on Sundays at 8:30 p.m. And I do the Roots Rundown on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. We are trying to grow this thing. If you enjoyed any bit of this, if you learned any bit of this, please share it. Please tell someone, go check that shit out. I felt like I was bringing it today. I'm trying to get better every episode. So if y'all could please share this, if you could tell somebody about it, if you could take one of the pieces that I brought up and talk to somebody else about it, that helps too. And they say, where'd you learn that shit from? I'm this crazy motherfucker in North Carolina called the Roots Rundown and Radical Roots. This crazy dude named Payron and Rom. And if you could, I know times are hard. I know better than anybody. If you could just donate a couple bucks, it allows us to keep this platform alive. It allows me to keep talking to you. Keep recommending books and information and stuff. If you could, it would really mean a lot. But I will see y'all. We're not going to do an episode on Sunday because we'll be at the Benito Bowl. Again, we got to figure out how we're going to watch that. But I'm going to watch it, damn it. The Benito Bowl on Sunday. So we will be out Sunday, and I'll be back with a Roots Rundown on Tuesday. I'm sure there'll be no news. I'm sure there'll be no reaction to the Super Bowl that will be newsworthy. I'm sure there'll be no reaction to Benito or whatever, or the fallout of Trump's ape comments. I'm sure they're going to come fast and heavy. We're going to see him sitting down with CBS or somebody. Quite sure. So I'll be back Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Folks, it's been a pleasure and enjoy. This is kind of therapy for me as well. But please share. But here is comedian Josh Johnson talking about this contradiction that we are absolutely going to see and have been seeing since Benito was announced to do the Super Bowl halftime show. And I will see y'all next time. Peace. If it plays.
But no, losing their minds. I can't believe it. Spanish? He's going to speak Spanish? I'm going to have to sit there and listen to somebody sing and rap in Spanish? I already had to listen to rap. You know what that was like for me? You know what that was like for me to hear rap in between the game I bet on? I'm gonna have to sit there and listen to Somebody, Spanish. I'm gonna have to sit there listening, watching the Super Bowl halftime show to Spanish. I'm gonna have to sit there with my guacamole and my chips in my lap, listening to Spanish. I am gonna have to sit there while I eat the tacos that I Uber Eats to my place, listening to Spanish. The idea that I could have a deluxe crunch wrap and have to listen to Spanish is crazy. Not in my America. Spanish? Are you serious? I can't believe I'm gonna have to listen. I want all the Spanish in my mouth. I don't want it in my ears. Which has like pretty much been the approach of a large portion of the U.S. for a long time. So much of the culture, so much of what people like about a culture that they're willing to take in, they try to do as best as possible to the exclusion of the people that the culture's actually from, right? So you'll see how people of Latin descent have been treated in this country the entire time while we fall in love with more and more of their stuff. You know what I mean? And it's something that obviously happens to black people. It's something that's happened to Asian Americans and everything, but it's something that doesn't always get addressed, is that if you loved what we make, then just love us. We made it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing to love almost every aspect of a culture and then meet the person who created that culture and be like, I don't know if I trust you though. I just kind of want all your stuff at my house.